What is happening, you guys? Jen Frost here, and today we are going to be talking about the real trick behind finding your ideal audience and connecting with them. I know this is one of those things that can hold a lot of people up, right? You hear all the stuff about, you've got to niche down. If you talk to everyone, then you're talking to nobody. But what does that really mean? How do you find these people, and how do you help engage with them in a way that they're going to want to connect with you and eventually buy from you, right? Because that's what this is all about. So today we're going to be talking about really getting clear on who it is that you're talking to. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I offer all different kinds of advice and suggestions and tips and tricks on how to use social media to help you sell online, how to start your online business, and how to make money passively so that you can actually enjoy your life and have that freedom lifestyle that we all want. So if that's something that you want to understand, then let's get started. Today, it's all about clarity. It's about really figuring out who you want to talk to and how you want to help them, because once you can do that, then you're going to start making money. If you can't nail that down, you're going to be susceptible to shiny object syndrome, which, if you haven't heard of shiny object syndrome, it's basically looking for that new best thing, and you're out there and you're like, oh, that might work, or oh, that might work, and you keep trying stuff, but you never actually stick with anything consistently. And when you do that, you're not giving yourself a chance to succeed. You're not getting your potential clients a chance to connect with you, and you keep bouncing around from thing to thing. So one of the first things that I want you to consider is I want you to pick one audience, and I want you to stick with that for 90 days. When you're able to pick one audience and stick with them for 90 days, you're going to start to really refine your message. You're going to start to learn more about them, and you're going to be able to communicate with them in a way that will actually resonate. And we all know in the world of marketing, you can't just show up and be like, hi, I'm here, buy my stuff, right? You really need to start to foster those relationships and grow these relationships with people in a truly authentic way. And especially if you're doing organic marketing, which is not using ads, and you're just showing up as yourself and providing value, having that consistency and showing up for that audience regularly is what's really going to help make the difference. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want you to think about is, once you figure out who it is, I want you to stick with that audience for 90 days and show up for them and only them for 90 days. Now, how are we going to figure out who that audience is? Okay, so the first question I have for you on that is, why do we do any of this stuff? Like, why do people buy from you? What is it that triggers people to want to spend money? And I will go out and say that the reason is that we want happiness. We all want to be happy. We all want something that is going to improve our lives, right? And you can take this and you can put it into 3 different buckets. So you could put this into the health bucket. We want to be happier because we want to feel better in our clothes, or we want to be able to go climb that mountain or play with our grandkids. Whatever it is in the health world, we want to feel more confident. So that's all coming from a place of wanting to be more happy and more at ease, right? So that's the health bucket. Then the wealth bucket, of course, when it comes to wealth, they say money can't buy happiness, but I'll tell you what, when you have money, then you have the ability to make decisions from a place of happiness, right? And make decisions from a place of abundance rather than lack. And so helping people create that financial abundance in their lives is a huge way to help people bring them more happiness. And the third is relationships, right? Of course, we all want connection. We all want to have people in our lives that support us, that are there to help us, whether that's in a partner or just in your family and your friends, whatever it is, it's relationships. So we have the health bucket, the wealth bucket, and the relationship bucket. And if you are able to help solve a problem in any one of those 3 areas, you are contributing to people's happiness. And when you are solving a problem for somebody in one of those areas that's going to make their lives better, they're going to want to pay you for it. But you still need to determine which one of those buckets do you want to work on. So as you're thinking about your business, where does that fall? And that's going to help you start to hone in on who that audience is at a very high level. So are you focused on people with their health? Are you focused on helping people with their wealth? Or are you focused on helping people with their relationships? And as you do this, I want you to get really, really specific on who you're going to sell to with these things, right? And it's about creating it in a way that you're creating a package that's going to resonate with that ideal client in a way that's going to help them and bring them that happiness. And it's there, like there are people, 6 billion people on Facebook last time I checked. It's probably a lot higher. But the people are out there. It's just about you finding a way to connect with them. And remember, you personally have something of value to offer these people. I see this so often where people get stuck because they're like, oh, Jen, I don't really have anything. I'm not really, I haven't been doing this very long, or I don't have many results, or, why would they want to buy from me when they can buy from this person, right? And the more you're online, the more you start to see this stuff. And you know what happens? Imposter syndrome starts kicking in. And when imposter syndrome starts kicking in, then it's a lot harder to focus on what's really important, which is helping your clients and helping your potential clients. So remember, as you're going through this, that you do have something to offer these people. And when you are genuine, when you are authentic, and when you share something that you can believe in, people are going to show up and they're going to want to buy from you. So here's the trick. Here it is, right? In the beginning, I said, I'm going to give you the trick that's going to help you get clarity on who your ideal client is. Here's the trick. Don't overthink this. Please don't overthink this. You will spend forever overthinking this, and you will never show up for those people that need your help. So stop overthinking it. And then, as I said before, pick an audience and stick with them for 90 days. That's what you're going to do, 90 days. And then you are going to start engaging with these people. And as you're engaging with them, you're going to start to bring them value, but you're also going to be learning everything you possibly can about them. Because when you're able to learn what you can about them, you're going to be able to speak more specifically to them. Okay, and as I said in the beginning, you may or may not have heard this before, but they say when you are talking to everyone, you are talking to no one. And so think about it this way. If you are talking to somebody about losing weight, for example, and you are just saying, hey, do you want to lose some weight? Sure, everyone wants to lose some weight. But if you are talking specifically to moms, for example, and you're saying, hey mom, wouldn't you love to be able to get up in the morning and not run out of breath and not run out of energy chasing your toddler around? That's going to be a lot more specific, and it's going to resonate with a specific group of people. Now, everyone says to me, Jen, but I can help so many people with my product. And yes, you can, but if you are not able to specifically talk to one, then why are they going to go to you? You've got to have something that is your unique hook. And the more you're able to niche down, the more you're going to be able to find that. So if you have been trying this marketing up here with just vague statements and not being specific before, it's totally okay. People do this all the time, but that's why we're having this conversation, so that you now can know how better to speak to them, okay? And so one of the things I want to kind of help you with today is the idea of breaking down the difference between a niche and an audience. And I think this is going to help you to get more clear. Actually, I know it's going to help you get more clear on who you're talking to, because I see it with my own clients all the time. And I see the word niche tossed around a lot, right? So when you're getting clear on what you're doing, you're going to be looking at two different things. One is, who are you going to sell to? And then two is, what are you going to sell to? Or what are you going to sell to them, okay? And you really need both. So let's just start with the niche. So the niche is the what of what you're selling. And when you think about this, and when you start to try and niche down, you really want to think about a couple of different things. What brings you joy? Because you're going to spend an awful lot of time working in this area. And if you're not having fun with it and you're not enjoying it, then what is the point? Okay, so what brings you joy? We already talked about the health bucket, the wealth bucket, the relationship bucket, and those are a good place to start. But then within that, what is your sub area? And the more specific you can get, the better. So if you were, let's just stick with the health thing, right? You can say, I lose weight, I help people lose weight. Great, but are you into keto? Are you into paleo? Are you into helping people lose weight without a diet? Like, there's all these different ways that you can do it. And that's based on your own personal experience and what lights you up. So what brings you joy, okay? then what skills do you have? What do you have any trainings, or how have you developed your own skills over time that are going to help other people? Because if it brings you joy, but you're not really able to deliver on it because you don't have the skills, then that's a tough spot. But do not let the imposter syndrome get in the way here, because you only need to be one step ahead of the people that you're going to teach. You may not be at the end of your journey, and honestly, none of us are ever at the end of our journey. But as long as you have some experience that you can help to help other people, then you're going to be able to help them, and they're going to want to help you make money. So then the third thing is the money, right? What is this niche, and is it something that you can make money doing? And the answer is yes. The question is how much money, depending on what you're doing. And that comes down to really just having a business sense about what you're doing, right? I mean, you know me, and if you don't know me, you'll know now, I do a bunch of different things. So, one-on-one coaching is obviously a lot more lucrative than selling stuff on Etsy. But I have fun doing both of them. It brings me joy, right? And so when you're thinking about it, how much money are you trying to make? What is your end goal here too, right? So that's going to help you niche down and figure out what it is that you're going to sell. Are you going to do a one-on-one program, or are you just going to offer a mini course? All of these things. And as you're going, I would also pick one thing you're going to start with and then grow from there. So that's kind of how you niche down, right? But then let's talk about your audience. Your audience are the people. These are your people that you can specifically help. And figuring this out is going to help you speak more clearly to those people. So the first question is, who do you serve? And this could seriously be anybody, right? But if you are in this for the long haul, it's got to be people that you enjoy working with. And I can tell you over time, me doing this, I have found that I only work with people that know that they are ready to show up and do the work for themselves. I only work with people that are excited about the opportunities, and not people that find a problem with every single solution that's offered. You know those people that are out there that's like, oh, this will never work for me. And guess what? If that's how you feel, then you're right. But I work with people that say, you know what? I might not get it right the first time, but I know that I am capable and I'm going to be able to do this. And if you're watching this, chances are that you are one of those people that know you're capable deep down. You're just trying to figure out how to put the pieces together. So figure out who you want to serve. How can you help them, right? You've already thought about the niche. Another cool thing you can do is, if you have made any money, I don't care if it's $5 or $500 or $500,000, whatever it is, if you have made any money selling online, or even selling in person, like in your local area, who has paid you money in the past? Who are the people that have actually purchased from you? And start to look at that, because I think a lot of people too have an idea of what they think their audience is, but when you start looking at who has paid you, you may realize that it's a little bit different than what you thought. And then you can more specifically target those people and have conversations that relate specifically to them. Okay. And then you know that the people have some sort of a struggle, right? And you want the people that you can help solve that struggle, solve that problem, and that you enjoy helping. So make sure, as I'm saying, and I know I keep reiterating it, but it's so important that you're actually going to enjoy it. All right, so who do you want to work with, and what do they need the most? If you can figure out what they need the most and focus on that one problem, that's going to help you so much in how you speak to them, what you're selling them, how you're offering it, all of that, okay? So one more thing I want to leave you with before we wrap this up, and that is why people buy. So we know that they're going for happiness, right? We already had that conversation, and you know that you can solve that problem in a couple different ways, through the health bucket, the wealth bucket, or the relationship bucket. But what do they all come down to? It all comes down to either moving towards pleasure or away from pain. And the reason that they want to do that is because of one thing. And that one thing is that they are looking for some sort of a transformation. Some sort of a way to get them to the next level in their life. And they may not even know what they need, right? And if you just go out there and you start pounding down their throat, you need this, you need this, you need this, they're not going to understand that connection. So it's so important that when you're speaking to these people, you're speaking to them about what transformation you can provide, and start there. So now you know that you need to have a solid niche, and you need to niche down into that with something that you can help them with specifically, so you can speak to that. You need to have a specific audience that you can talk to, that you can connect with directly, people that you enjoy working with, that you know you can solve their problem. And then when you speak to those people, you're going to speak to that transformation. So that is the secret hack to getting clear on who it is you're going to talk to. So I want to give you just a few questions that can help you with this, and I will put these questions in the show notes so that you can look at them. These are some things that I want you to start thinking about as you're starting to get clear on who your audience is. And these questions will help you clarify who you want to speak with, but also how you're going to speak with them, and it will help you create great content, great copy, great messaging. All that stuff comes from these things. So, what is their biggest fear? What is that thing that's keeping them up at night? And, they can't go to sleep because they're laying in bed and they're thinking about this and they're worried about it, and they wake up in the morning and it's still on their mind. What is that fear? What is that thing? And then what do they value? Values are so important, and they can really help you connect with your people, right? For me, I value gratitude. It's so important that we have the ability to have gratitude for wherever we're at in our life as we're growing on this journey, right? So that's something that I can connect with people on and help them grow through, right? So what are the values of the people that you're speaking with? And what is going to help change the way they think? And that is a conversation about that transformation, right? A lot of this comes down to that mindset. So when you're having these conversations and you're starting to think about it, you're really starting to tweak their mindset, right? So what is going to change the way they think? And it's going to be different depending on who you're talking to. So you've got to really start to know these people and start to have conversations with them so you can understand that. Then what is a day in their life like? What do they do? What's the first thing they do when they put their feet on their floor? Do they go get up, put on their clothes, and go work out? Or do they get up and slowly trudge through their morning and dread having to go to the office, right? You're talking to two different people there, right? So which one is it for your people? Or what's that third thing? What does that look like? What does their day look like? What are they doing at noon? And is that a really energized part of their day, or are they more night owls, right? All of that is going to help you in figuring out who you're going to speak with. So what is a day in their life like? And then what's going to create those epiphanies? That goes back to what's going to change the way that they think. But the more you're able to deliver inspirational content and things that will help them start to see these epiphanies and provide them value for free when you're showing up online, the more they're going to be willing to give you money to help you get them to that massive transformation that they're looking for. And then where are these people? Where do they hang out? And the more you're able to get clear on who they are, the easier it's going to be to find them in Facebook groups or on Instagram or whatever social media platform that you choose. So where are they? And now what I want to challenge you to do is I want to challenge you to go there. Go to where they are and start connecting with these people. Go connect with them, start asking questions, learn what they're asking, and solve their problems for them. Help provide value to them. If you are in the tech space, for example, if you can create websites or you can create great graphics, go into places where people that need help with that are, and when they ask questions, provide value, right? It doesn't matter what your topic is, there are people that need your help. And if you are not out there showing up consistently asking these questions, it's going to be awfully hard to help them. So now is your time to go out and do that. So if you want to do more research on this, obviously YouTube is an amazing place. Just type in the search bar for whatever your topic is and look and see what people are talking about. What are they talking about? What's getting the most views? But also, what are people saying in those comments? What are they appreciating? What are their biggest takeaways? Because that's going to tell you what people are resonating with, right? So do that on YouTube. You could do the same thing on Amazon. Go to the book section and read reviews that people have left on books in the area that you're talking about. You're going to start to get into the heads of these people. So that's a second way. So YouTube, Amazon, Google. Obviously, Google is also your friend. You can go there, look at what the trends are. What are people asking? All of that's going to help you. And then, you know, of course, if you follow me for any length of time, Facebook groups are one of my favorite places to connect with people, because there are groups on Facebook for literally everything. And when you get into those groups and you start to learn what these people are about, it's going to really help you to refine that audience as well and get clear on who you want to help and how you're going to help them. So I hope this has been helpful. I think that getting clear is something that is super, super important. If you'd like any more help with this, you know, drop a comment below. Happy to help. And then I'll also put in there where you can find me on Facebook. So if you want to message me over there, you are certainly more than welcome to do that. And yeah, that is it for today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll catch up soon. All right, bye.